Let's discuss today the AP Royal Oak Concept Flying Tourbillon GMT. I feel like there was 100 words in that name. So my relationship with the concepts are very unique. You know, on one hand, I really enjoy, the futuristic look, feel, and everything about this watch. I mean, you put this on your wrist and it almost feels like you landed in a spaceship. A lot of people won't understand it. I was showing this watch to a buddy of mine 2-3 days ago, which he knows about watches, but he's not necessarily a 100% full-blown watch guy. And his reaction to it was, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I feel like they did too much. Like, he was just so perplexed when I showed him the watch that his reaction was just very dismissive. Like, I don't know. I don't like it. I don't know what it is. And I said, well, maybe perhaps you don't understand it. He goes, yeah, I definitely don't understand it. It just looks too futuristic. And I think that's exactly what the concept is supposed to be. It's supposed to be that watch from AP that's just so futuristic and so cutting edge, we can say, that's the idea. They want it to look so overly done that it's not really understandable. I mean, I think a lot of us by now have gone, at least at one point when we were kids, to the auto shows where they would end up always having a concept car, right? These cars that you really wish that they would come up with, that they always either show them in drawings or they pretty much have like a fake body that doesn't really work, but it'll show you what the Corvette of the future might look like. Well, that's exactly what this is, but instead they actually came out with the watch. So originally when they first came out with the concept in 2002 and they called it the concept, I knew exactly what they were trying to say by that. Immediately I was like, whoa, that looks like something I have never seen before. Now, the one thing about the concept though that sort of has me always thinking is the fact that it's so robust in size, okay? That's the one thing. For me, I like the concept. I love the idea of the concept, and I love how much of a heavy hitter it is, okay? The only thing about the concept that upsets me is that I can't wear it. Like, I'm wearing one right now, and I've been wearing this all week. And yeah, I mean, I can pull it off, but do I wish it was a little bit smaller? Yeah. And honestly, I think it'd be even better if it just had a tang and buckle instead of this deploying clasp. Lord knows AP has been so stubborn over the years to keep that AP on the deploying area. At first I thought it was cool until you wear one and then realize that it's pretty damn uncomfortable. But this particular model that I have here is the latest version of the Concept Tourbillon. It brings a flying tourbillon and it's a GMT. They had a previous model which was pretty nice as well, but it didn't have the square button right here. Circle button, standard looking pusher, which again, nice model, but this one blew it away. So let's talk about the dial layout for this new model. I mean, it's similar to the previous version, but it has some enhancement. The first thing you realize is it doesn't have a bridge for the tourbillon, which makes it a flying tourbillon. For those of you that don't know, I mentioned it one time when I did the video of the Black Panther. Flying tourbillon does not have the top bridge. It's only supported by the bottom. That alone makes the watch already look so much more interesting on the dial. But, however, the second hour time zone is on the same 3 o'clock position and works with a rotating disc, pretty much very similar to it was previously. One of the things that they also kept was at 6 o'clock. A lot of people ask me, what is that's going on there? It says HNR. I call that the gear shift indicator. That's just what I call it. Same way when you drive a car and you move the gear shift, it tells you it's on neutral, reverse, drive. Same thing happens with this watch. When you manipulate the crown, that thing will tell you what position you're in, so you know what you're doing. Pretty unnecessary, but honestly, why not? I think it's cool. This time, the way that it signals each one, it kind of gives like a little bit of a piece of a triangle, which I think it's cool, and I like the way it looks. Like I previously mentioned when I did the review on the Black Panther model, the difference is no bridge on the top of the tourbillon, which makes it a flying tourbillon. But to me, one of the biggest changes in this model from the previous one is the case back. The layout on the case back is just so much more nicer. It has a 100-hour power reserve and 100-meter water resistance, which, I mean, they might as well just make it 10 meters, because whoever is going down diving or doing some heavy swimming with this watch is a serious boss, and I technically don't have the balls to do something like that. I'd be scared it's gonna get wet and it'd be a nightmare. I personally would not take any tourbillon in the water. So the thing about the concept is, obviously this is not a watch for a first-time buyer. This is a watch that some people might have it as their holy grail, or some collectors would have after they've bought everything else and they're kind of bored. What do you buy next, you know? Something like this concept might fit that bill. You know, if I had to compare watches to cars, I would say this is a Lamborghini Aventador, SVJ to be exact. It's just, those are the type of lines and look and excess that the watch projects to me. When I see it, it just looks over the top, futuristic, like a spaceship. This watch right here belongs on a spaceship. However, the biggest problem that I have is that I can't really seem to have it belong on my wrist. What is it about the Concept Tourbillon that they made it so big? When they released the Black Panther edition, I think one of the best things that they did about that watch is they reduced the size. That right there for me was a complete game changer. Completely changed everything about that watch. The reason is because that watch is already so robust that it kind of won't look small on anybody, but won't look overly big on someone, for example, like my wrist. My wrist is 7.5 inches. Pretty standard, almost every single watch looks good on me. The problem with this watch is how much the case sticks out on the sides, and the fact that the strap is integrated into the case and there is no give or swivel. Where if there was a little bit of a swivel, it would kind of get rid of those huge gaps that I have on the side. Everybody knows how much I hate those gaps, starting with the Oyster Flex Rolex strap. I hate them. Sorry guys, I love the way they look, but I hate the way they fit. So that alone is one big factor. Another thing they did with the Black Panther that this doesn't have is the curvature of the glass. That alone also makes it fit smaller. This watch is a 44 millimeter, and when you look at it in your hand, it doesn't look that small. But the crazy thing about it is that when you put this watch on, it almost feels like a 50 millimeter. Not too many watches I've ever experienced that look bigger once you put them on. Usually it's the other way around. Usually you see a watch, doesn't look too bad, and then when you put it on, it feels smaller. Happens all the time with guys that want Daytonas. They love the way it looks, it's a signature watch. When they put it on their wrist, disappointed, looks too small. With this watch, definitely not the case. That's not gonna happen. Another thing that they did was the tang and buckle. I think that that is what needs to be done on this watch. Sure, you gotta be ultra careful when you're putting that watch on. You don't want a Concept Tourbillon sliding down the floor. But I think it's a better fit and way more comfortable. I've been wearing this watch all morning and already I have a mark right here from the deploying class. Something I don't really enjoy, honestly. But overall, when it comes to being a heavy hitter and having wrist presence, I mean, this is a watch that really gets that attention. Comparing it to something like a Richard Mille, yes, Richard Mille, of course, right now has all the hype. Of course, it's gonna get that attention, but it's a total different route than a Richard Mille. It's when you want it to go AP gang gang and go a whole different level, something that nobody really has the balls to wear or pull off. Prices. This particular model that I have here in titanium retails for $173,000. I don't know, maybe a couple more dollars more, but how can you get it? Believe it or not, the Concept is not an easy watch to get. You know, there's always that piece that they're trying to make you eat at the boutique so that way you can get your Holy Grail stainless steel blue dial 15500. This is not one that they're gonna give you. They're probably gonna make you eat a Code 1159, which are not too bad, but it ain't no Concept. So believe it or not, they're not very easy to get at the boutiques. So in the gray market right now, a watch like this will cost you from about $240 to $250. Not bad when you consider that some of these Richard Milles are costing over $500,000 and they don't even have a tourbillon. So this watch, you're getting a lot of bang for your buck. You're getting a futuristic look that pretty much no one's gonna know what the heck you have on. It's gonna get the same or equal attention to somebody that has no idea about watches than an RM. Plus, you get a flying turb, which if you're into watches, I mean, who doesn't want a tourbillon in their watch? Crazy thing about this watch is when you wear it, it actually doesn't look that much bigger than a Richard Mille on your wrist. The difference, I guess, is just since you have this bezel, it kind of pops up where the RM feels a bit more streamlined. One thing I will give it to RM is that their clasp is incredibly comfortable. I mean, it's just way more softer rubber, and the way they did the edges of the deploying clasp, they don't scratch you at all. So in conclusion, if you're looking to buy a watch that's cheaper than a Richard Mille, but has so much more to offer, for example, a tourbillon, then maybe the Royal Oak concept is for you. Feel free to comment below what you think about the concept, or if maybe you feel that it's just ridiculous and it's no good. And if you like this video, like and share it. Also, subscribe to my YouTube channel.